good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Frisky Biscuit. This is the podcast that really is going to turn you on today. And my good cohort, I should say.
Good horse?
Good horse, Lisa.
I'm Lisa. Hi, everyone.
Let's do that again. Hi, this is Dr. G with my partner.
And Lisa.
Oh, you can probably already tell that we don't even have a clue what the heck we're doing today, but we're going to have some fun. We got a good program for you. And just a little side note, I am really, really happy with the people that are signing on, listening, and paying attention to us. This is very, very cool.
Yeah, we went over 1,500 downloads.
Yeah, for a new podcast.
And we're almost at 100 YouTubers.
I mean, we're right behind you, Joe Rogan, so you be careful.
That's right. When are you coming on our show, by the way?
If you could get Joe Rogan on this show, I'm not going to say it because he would probably do it just so I'd have to do it.
You'll certainly have a good time, Joe, if you come on Frisky Biscuit. That's for sure.
Anyway, I am happy to be here, and I know you are, and we're wearing our 4th of July costuming today.
Yes.
We have a very intense wardrobe department that matches us each week. We have people comment on that. How come you wear the same colored shirts? Because we're complete geeks. That's why.
We don't do it during the week, though.
You know, a lot going on in the world, and our podcast is about you road warriors out there, people that are the unsung heroes of the world. And who those people are people that are truck drivers, bus drivers, food truck drivers, delivery drivers, all kinds of drivers that drive and keep America going every day.
Yes.
And how many drivers did I miss?
Food truck, all of them. All the people that work on the road, that are on the road. And we have some friends coming up and they're on the road. So it's all of you that take road trips, whether you're working or you're not. And look for our Frisky Biscuit sticker. You can put it on your vehicle as you're traveling around. Just contact us and we'll send you one for sure. Or find us. Yeah,
well, find us or we'll find you. But also, just we haven't mentioned a couple of times that we're very interested in talking to you. If you're a person that drives a lot, and one of the things they're attempting to take cars away from us, I believe it sure feels like it, and go everything electric, and that's probably not going to work completely. We're going to talk a little bit about that later in the program about some of the alternatives that are being looked at that are down the road farther than maybe many of you think. And if you're driving and you're out there making a living and you're a truck driver, you guys are having a tough time. We're all behind you. And God bless your heart out there for sticking with it. Some of you are quitting. You can't afford these $1,000 fill-ups.
I know, especially the independent truck drivers. You don't have a big company that is behind you, so you're having to do it all on your own. So hang in there. I think some changes are coming. We trust some changes are coming. The Calvary's coming.
The Calvary's coming. Well, what do we have on the agenda today, Lisa? You got some cool stuff.
Well, the first thing I thought we'd talk about is we're going to talk about some alternative fuels and how you can save some funds in that. But I think we first ought to talk about our affiliate links. And the reason being is last episode we're so excited about our Amazon affiliate link. And Amazon is one of those big corporations. And as soon as we released the podcast, they canceled us.
They said you people are criminals and we
have
don't
no
want any
idea
part
why.
of it.
There's nobody to talk to. You can fill out a little form. So we do have an attorney helping us look at it, and we'll see what we can do. But however, in the meantime, as we're waiting, which is kind of, we put a lot of good links in there. Were you going to say depressing? Yes, I was, but then I changed my mind.
That's kind of sad because Lisa worked her tail off to put this beautiful Amazon system together because we've got a lot of stuff. Since we've learned how to motorhome, we got a lot of stuff that, it's going to save you some money because we bought a bunch of crap we didn't need a few times, and I think a lot of people do. Our effort is to save you some money and help you along if you're wanting to get out there camping, whether it's a motorhome or even a tent. We found some products that are pretty amazing, and it's on our Amazon site. So she puts this site together, and it's amazing. And then we put it up. We talked to you about it last time, and then that afternoon we got an email saying they've decided. What was it that? we aren't worthy.
Yeah, there's something along that line. And, it's that big corporation again where you can't find anybody to talk to. My heart goes out to Mr. Pello because Walmart just did it to him. $10 million a year account, they just canceled him. And they say it's because he didn't get high enough ratings. And it's different. They're either getting Chinese products or they got some wokeism coming into their company. Who knows, And for us, I think we did something that wasn't quite according to their parameters
that we didn't know about.
Yeah. So we're going to see if we can get that fixed for you. If not, we do have a couple of other links, and we're working on another whole affiliate program that may do the same thing, that we may not have to utilize Amazon. In the meantime, there's 3 other links that are on our website, frisky-biscuit.com. They're worth checking out, especially if you travel a lot, if you're an RVer or a camper. Go to RV Trip Wizard. I mean, everybody talks about it. All the people on YouTube utilize it. It is the best program. And what's really cool about RV Trip Wizard is you can get a satellite view before you book of the campground, of the individual site, and it's really well done. You can also program it to where, say, like we're in the Elks. We can program the elks all across the map of America to come up in our search. So you can put in your search, you put in the size of your rig. It'll take you down roads that work instead of not work for the size and the height of your rig. Really well done, not very expensive. On that, if you go to our website, frisky-biscuit.com, and you click on it, it will save you some funds. The other one is Harvest Host. We use Harvest Host a lot. It's only usually for one night. Sometimes you can stay 2 or 3 nights. But as you're traveling and you're going from A to B and you just need an overnight stop, they're great. You pay a one-time yearly fee. It's around $99. You'll get a $15 discount, again, on our link on frisky-biscuit.com. And Harvest Host, it's all the wineries, it's the alpaca farms. We even stayed at a church. Our very first one was that. And usually you throw them some money for a beer or a wine, or if it's a farm.
The thing with Harvest Host, they're amazing.
They are amazing.
It's probably the best thing. If you're a camper and you want to go on I hate to use the word cheap, but if you want to go on the cheap and have a quality experience, that's the answer.
Yeah. And it's for the ones that are traveling. You can't stay there for a whole week. It's usually just one. They're known for their one-nighters, just a one-night stay. But you get these great experiences. And I know people that have gone all the way across the United States and used Harvest Host for their one-night stays. So you get the farms, if they're picking apples at that point of the year, you can buy some apples and fresh produce from them. If it's an alpaca farm, you have all the animals. And generally, they will take your animals, too. So we found that really nice.
I'm a flyer and a pilot, so I like airports. And a lot of airports, they got a restaurant there. They got little museums and things like this. A lot of those are Harvest Hosts. Breweries, any kind of a business can be a Harvest Host. In fact, if you're a business out there and you're watching this and you'd be interested in being a Harvest Host, contact them or contact us and we'll help you. But it's probably the best kept secret in the RV world. It's not really a secret. And what does it cost to join that?
On that one, I want to say $99. I'm not positive on that. Go to our website, Frisky-Biscuit. Go to the product links, because I know they just changed their rates on both Harvest Host and RV Trip Wizard, but both of them are around $100, $140 for the year. So it's only a yearly fee. And we've used it so many times. We've paid for it many, many, many times over, because when we go, we just want those one-night stays to get to our destination.
Yeah.
And another thing about Harvest Host that I love is you can call them up at the last minute. And there hasn't been one time we have not gotten in. So that's a nice thing to have in your pocket.
That's a big deal right now, because a lot of people just can't find places. And we've talked about that, and we may talk a little bit about it today. But there's places, and there's a bunch of nonsense that you can't find campsites. What the problem is, everybody wants to go to one campsite, like a national park or even some of the state parks, which are pretty open. And they're saying they're all full and everything, but they're not.
Or the KOAs, the bigger private.
Tons of options out there. So just pay attention to that. We'll help you along if we can. You can email us. And
if you haven't watched our video, 3 or 4 videos back, we went and documented all the federal sites. So I give you all kinds of URLs and websites to go to. So there shouldn't be a reason why you're not finding a campsite this year. The other link we have on there is the Young Living Oils. I did put that on the Amazon site, but I decided just to put a link to the website itself. And the cool thing about Young Living Oils for us, we have found that they're just amazing at helping you to sleep, helping you to digestion, all kinds of things. So on the Young Living Oils site, all you have to do is you can order right off the site, and you just have to set up your own account, which is basically your email and your name, so they keep off the riffraff, and you can learn so much about them. So we really love those. So those 3 links, the Harvest Host, the Trip Wizard, and the Young Living, are on the site. The Amazon is not on the site right now until we get that fixed, if we get it fixed.
And whether we do or we don't, doesn't matter. We have our own merchandise site. And
yeah, we've got hats and T-shirts and just all kinds of fun stuff. If you want some fun paraphernalia T-shirts, if you're a trucker or if you're a motorhomer, go check out frisky-biscuit.com. So that's our little promo today.
We have some cool stuff up there. I like our stuff, of course.
And we wear it.
You notice I'm high fashion, and I wear it all, But people do comment on it, and they like the logo and have fun with it. So anyway, what's our agenda today? We got some really interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we thought we'd talk about hydrogen motor homes that are coming up. I mean, this is a game changer if it happens. And I think it's going to happen because Cummins is the one that makes the big truck engines. They also make the motor home generator, not engines, but they make engines.
No, there's big generator manufacturing. Of course, California is wanting to ban gas and diesel-powered generators, and that's not going to fly because we have to have generators for emergencies, hospitals, all these things, and they run on diesel fuel usually, or gasoline, or propane.
Well, what Cummins did is they are setting up and putting together a Freightliner in their, I think it's Cassandra, I hope I say that right.
It's their big truck.
It's their big heavy truck line, and they're putting in the cell capacity to put the hydrogen cells into the trucks. And what's really cool is it's the same amount of time to fill up your diesel truck as it is to put the hydrogen in. Same with your vehicle. There's only one hydrogen vehicle right now on the market, and it's only in California. It's a little Toyota, what is it? Mirai. M-I-R-A-A. However, the challenge is because there's not very many places to put the hydrogen in your car.
Finding a hydrogen station. I think there's 2 or 3 of them in the state of California. So that is the problem right now is the outlets. And
it's expensive. Hydrogen is done by weight, right? It's done by kilogram. And 1 kilogram right now is about $15, and 1 kilogram is equal to 1 gallon of gas. So if you think that $6-8 gallon of gas right now and petrol is high, attempt hydrogen. And I think they're going to have some challenges. They've got a long way to go to put the network together to build these They can build the cars, but it's building the stations to go from A to B to C. However, if Cummins is getting into it, I suspect we're going to see more and more hydrogen stations. Also, the benefit of hydrogen is the batteries are so heavy. And hydrogen is not heavy.
Yeah, the batteries on the electric cars. The thing, though, is people are not talking about, I believe, I've heard this in the past and did some reading on it myself, that most of the gas engines and diesel engines, I believe it's both of them, but maybe it's just gas, can be eventually converted to hydrogen. So
and really inexpensively
the fleet that we have out there right now, many of the later model cars could burn hydrogen as easily as they do gasoline, and they could be easily converted fairly inexpensively. So that could be a big deal and could save us.
The one thing about hydrogen right now is it's not so eco-friendly because it still takes gas in order to power it. However, if they can get and convert that...
Well, it takes a fossil fuel, usually coal or something, to create the energy to create the hydrogen.
Yeah, and that's even with the Tesla cars. You think you're getting it for free, but who's coming up with the energy to power your car? So if they can get a grid together that uses either wind power or solar power to grid the hydrogen and work with the hydrogen in that element, then it will be completely green. So there's some nice feedback on that. And if Cummins is doing it, I think we're going to see a revolution in the RV industry and also in our vehicle industry coming up here very shortly.
I know Mercedes is working on electric chassis right now, but this will leapfrog that into something more productive and probably eventually more economically feasible. Yeah, because this electric thing, if everybody's driving electric cars, then we have another problem, is enough electrical generation. Of course, we're not here to irritate the Tesla drivers out there and the electric car drivers. Are we? Thank you.
So
Anyway.
that's exciting. But there's a couple other things that I put in here is how you can save today on your fuel costs, because there are a few things that you can do. I know it seems like day to day, the regular fuel and the diesel fuel are going up daily. So some of the things you can do is only fill your car up in the morning. And the reason why is all the tanks are underground and it's colder in the morning. So they haven't expanded. So you're actually getting more bang for your buck if you're filling up in the morning. The second thing you can do is on the nozzle itself, there's 3 different ways to fill: low, medium, and high. If you pick the low one, that's what you do, right? You pick the low one.
The flow,
so it takes a little
flow
longer.
rate. Yeah, get the slow flow rate. Then you're not ruffling things up in the tank so much, and it's not going to splatter around and create vapors. And it's a minuscule amount, but over the long haul, you're going to save in pumping more gas into your car.
So when you do the fast one, there's more vapor that comes in. So you're really putting more air vapors into your car. So if you do it in the morning, do it really slow. Also, if you see a tanker there, don't fill up, because my mom taught me this when we were young, is that the tanker is putting the fuel into the tank underneath the ground, and it's all the sediment that's on the bottom of the tank. The dirt is getting all spun up, and it's going to go into your tank. So again, you're not getting as much bang for your buck if you're getting a bunch of sediment, and it can do some problems with your car. Also, only fill your tank when it's half empty instead of all the way empty. And the reason being, again, is it evaporates. So it evaporates faster when your tank is empty than when it's half full. So, think of it as a floating dock. You want to keep it at a certain level. And I love doing it because it doesn't make me feel like I'm spending $200 every time.
No,
I
you
fill up.
like doing it so you're ready for the apocalypse.
That's true.
That's what she told me. She's ready. You ought to see our refrigerator and our gas tank. Always full.
Hey, I am ready. It's good. The way I figure it is every time I go to the grocery store, it's getting more and more expensive. So when I find those sales out there on peanut butter and mac and cheese, I stock
We
up.
are high quality eaters.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Peanut butter and jelly, mac and cheese. Every kid loves to come to our house.
Well, you said you're a chef.
I am. I can make a mean peanut butter and jelly. The trick is to put butter on it.
A lot of butter.
Yeah.
It would be a sad day without butter.
Yes, it would be.
All right. What else? We're getting off track here. What else?
All right. Well, our other subject is talking about Born in the USA. It is 4th of July. Can you believe it? It's tomorrow. Well, and I'm really excited that it's on a Monday this year. For all the people that work Monday through Friday, they get the whole weekend off and the Monday. And if you take an extra day, you take the Tuesday, you get a long weekend. So the dogs are going to be hating it. Because I have a feeling that most people are going to be shooting off fireworks all the time.
Well, we're already hearing it.
I know.
I mean, they go down, buy it, and blow it up, and they always wait till about 10 to 11 o'clock at night.
I know. Are you buying your fireworks this year?
I don't know what that. Have I bought fireworks? I think that you and I probably create enough fireworks between ourselves to have to go. We don't need to go buy any.
But I'm asking you guys out there, are you going to buy them?
Oh, yeah.
I actually like to just go see them instead of buying them myself, because it just is such a joy to sit back and not do a whole lot and just watch this like kaleidoscope of fireworks in the sky. And here we are in Twin Falls, Idaho. They have a majestic show that happens every year. It's amazing for a small town America.
It is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of money on it. It's beautiful.
Well, I think college towns, because we have a college here, they tend to do a little bit more than if they don't have a college. So some of the things, okay, we're born in the USA, right? So some of the things that happened is blue jeans, of course. We have blue jeans. We were known for blue jeans. Plutonium, Cobb salads, Slinkies, kazoos. The Cobb salad's an interesting one.
That's the one I'm the most interested in. I've always wondered, where did this Cobb salad come from?
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Of course, Hollywood.
Of
Back
course
in the
it did.
1930s. A lot happened in the 30s and 40s. I swear there was a lot of inventions. It was after the Depression, and I think people were out there just, come on, let's create something new. And it happened a little, just a chef, and it was called the Brown Derby Restaurant. I believe it's still there. And the guy's name, get this, Bob Cobb. Of course.
Bob Cobb.
Bob Cobb invented the Cobb salad.
That is really creative, Bob. Well, my name's Bob, and I'm going to invent a Cobb salad.
You think it'd be corn?
Bob Cobb.
No, he just went into his refrigerator one day and pulled out the hard-boiled eggs and the lettuce and the cheese and the tomatoes and the chives, and he threw together this salad, and it became, and an avocado, of course, California, known for their avocados, and he threw it together.
All due respect, though, they are pretty good.
They're great, and it's on a lot of menus.
Yeah.
It really took off worldwide, actually. Of course, a lot of things in Hollywood did take off, too. And then there's Levi Strauss, of course. Reno, Nevada.
We all wear those.
Yep, 1873.
They invented one of the most beautiful, inventive ways to scratch your car, and nobody is to blame. The rivets in the Levi's.
And us as Americans, everybody has a pair of Levi's. I don't know one person that doesn't have a pair of Levi's.
You've got several.
Yes, I love
And she
Levi's.
wears them well.
Yes.
Yes.
So San Francisco businessman Levi Strauss and a Reno, Nevada tailor named Jacob Davis got together and put a patent together to put the metal rivets. That's really what they patented in the blue jeans. It wasn't the material itself. It was a improvement in the fasteners on the pockets because of the gold rush. Right? They needed something that was really heavy.
I think it would have been an interesting conversation, though, in figuring out and hearing the conversation between those two guys. How do they decide to name it Levi's without putting Davis's name in that thing? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, he was the businessman, so I suppose they used his name. And, it was a little bit more savvy than Jacob Davis, right? Levi.
Yeah, I suppose. But just think about it. Well, I'm going to go put on my
Davis's.
My Levi Davises. My Davis Strausses.
Maybe we ought to come up with one. Put on your leases. Put on your leases today.
Put on your lease.
It was mostly the miners and the people that were outside, the rough and tumble guys, that wore these for years. And it wasn't until Marlon Brando and James Dean used them in the 1950s film. So it took over a decade, more than a year, 100 years and a decade, to really take off into being so popular that all Americans wear them now.
Because we are so tightly formatted here and organized, speaking of that, we went and saw a movie yesterday that you got to go see. And it's, especially if you're of the tender young age of me or even younger, and you're an Elvis fan, we saw the movie Elvis. And what did you think of that?
I loved that I got to know a little bit more about him and his wife and his daughter, even though his daughter, they left her small, so you really didn't get to see the rest of her life. I'd love to see a movie about her life, of how she, developed over the years. She's an amazing woman because she's named Lisa.
Lisa Marie.
Yeah. No, I love the movie. There was also a sadness that to really see what his life was like. and the gentleman that took advantage of him, and what his life could have been like if that guy hadn't stepped in. I think Elvis was so talented that he still would have become a sensation. It might not have been the world sensation as...
Boy, I don't know. The guy was pretty good, but just the movie is pretty amazing, and it really kind of wraps it up for a lot of people, including myself, that didn't really understand what really happened in the end. And so it's very well done. It's very historic. It's well played out. The people that were the actors in it did an amazing job. And the young man, I don't know his name. I can't think of his name, that played Elvis, looks just like him. And he must have studied him because it was beautifully done.
Yeah.
And it was high quality and no trashing anybody. It was just history and the truth and well acted. So we liked it.
Well, and at the end, they had some clips of him in his last days singing. That was really something I appreciate his music, but I wasn't necessarily an Elvis fan. You know, there was so many people that were Elvis fans that know everything and probably have seen a few of the clips, but I appreciated that. And you really got to see Graceland, or a product of Graceland. I'm not sure they used the exact site of what it was like originally, you know, in its heyday.
Yeah.
And, you know, Graceland, they're still so productive. They make $10 million a year from people going through. They have a suite you can stay in. I believe they just built a hotel that's on the property itself. It's a big property. It's 13 acres.
And it's something Elvis wanted to do.
Yes.
And his former wife, who kind of runs everything, she pulled it off, and they did it now. And so they're doing all this in honor of him and some of his wishes. He only lived to be 42 years old. When you get to be my age, you realize how young that is.
I know. And his daughter inherited it when she was 21, so she's done a great job at keeping it together and keeping his legacy alive and still having her own life. So it's really well done and well worth going to see. Kind of like Top Gun. Top Gun. Maverick, the movie that came out.
Yeah, Top Gun.
What a difference, too. You know, you've got this, and both American, right? You've got Elvis Presley as the American icon, and then you've got Maverick in there, the amazing military.
Kind of a good 4th of July patriotic movie, really.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, not to beat it to death, but thought we'd mention that because we went to it, and Lisa and I actually do not go to a lot of movies. We haven't got time, and we're out motorhoming, and that's our thing. Mm-hmm. But we did do that because I had the opportunity to see him in person, and he's an amazing guy. So I think he's part of American history. He had a lot to do with some of the politics in overcoming a lot of the stuff in the South. The other thing I wanted to say about that movie is, you know, he grew up, which I didn't know, that when he was really young, his father went to prison, and he grew up, his mom had to find an apartment, and the only one that she could afford was in the black community. So he grew up with the blues. He grew up with the black genre. And I don't know if it's politically correct, you know, African American, whatever is politically correct you're supposed to call them. I don't know. I grew up in the South. Well, here at Risky Biscuit, we do not worry about PC. We just
true.
say it like it is.
That's true.
And our intentions are not to hurt anybody. We're just talking.
Well,
you know.
And what he did is he took that music that he learned with his black friends and B.B. King and all the influences of this beautiful music and these revivals that they had. And I actually got to go to a revival years ago, and it was one of the highlights of my life. I mean, the songs that they sang and the feelings that came out of them and the bellowing of their voices, that's what he grew up with, and that's why his music became so famous. And in a long story short, to put that together, is he really helped bridge the black and white communities together. You know, we hear all this segregation stuff these days, which is a bunch of malarkey and what I'm thinking, or bullshit, I guess I could say that on the line.
Well, at least we know exactly how you feel.
Definitely, because I think he really bridged that together, and I think we all look at each other now as, hey, you're just a human. We're all humans. So Elvis had a big, and Martin Luther King was shot during Elvis's reign, so that was a big deal to him because most of his buddies were black.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people that hung out with him because he didn't see color.
Oh boy, he could spin and sing a gospel song. A cool guy. So go see the movie, and I think you'll like it. we believe we really liked it ourselves, and I think a lot of you would. So,
and his daughter just came out with an album too,
and that's actually really good.
Yeah, she's a great singer. She's a songwriter and singer.
What was the name of hers? What is that called? Oh, darn it!
Oh, it's something and something. Something and something. So
and you just go find it. Search that. Search something
Google.
and something and something, and you can thank us for that. What else we got on our list?
Well, on that note, let's keep going. Let's go to plutonium. This is another American invention.
That's a good segue from Elvis.
Yeah,
plutonium.
Back in the 1940s. And of course, where do you think it came from?
Pluto.
California. It was actually named after the planet Pluto, though, just like they named uranium after the planet Uranus. And it was developed in Berkeley, California, of course.
I would like to know who came up with the name for a planet Uranus. I mean, honestly.
I love that planet in astrology. It's all the hidden stuff in your chart. Anyway, they took an element of uranium-238 and put it together with alpha particles and came up with plutonium. And they kept it secret for a long time until about 6 years, until the war. World War II, and then they
made bombs out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's an American invention, along with the slinky. We'll put those two together, plutonium and the slinky.
Tell the story on the slinky, how they found
God, the slinky is really cool. Okay, the slinky, back in 1943, there was a mechanical engineer. His name was Richard James, and he was working to devise springs that they could put on ships.
I don't know where she comes up with this stuff.
So the ships would be really steady at sea. Well, he was playing around with them, and they fell off the shelf one day and went down the stairs, and he just watched it in astonishment of watching these slinkies, and he thought it was so amazing that he took and patented it. And I think that was one of my favorite toys as a kid.
I know, the slinky's kind of amazing, but just think about him patenting the slinky and attempting to explain what it does.
It didn't really do anything except have
and how to
some
build
fun.
one of them. I know, it's just one of the weirdest little things, but they are kind of fun.
I know, you don't really see them around that much anymore.
No, but they're cool. And once you get your hands on one, it's hard to take, leave it alone.
I know. Well, let's switch over to music. Music is so American. Born in the USA, we've got the blues, we've got jazz, we've got the kazoo back in the 1840s when the Africans came over and they were working in the fields as slaves. There was an instrument they had called merlinton. I believe that's how you spell it, merlinton. And it was an old instrument that they used in their lands, and they went in and they redeveloped that to like a buzz sound, and they nicknamed it the kazoo, and they used to use it during their religious ceremonies as kind of a voice disguiser. And so that was one instrument. Also, the mandolin was invented here in America. The banjo. The ukulele.
I knew the banjo. You owned a banjo once.
I did own a banjo once, and I played it for a year, and I tell you, it is not an easy instrument to learn. You think the guitar is difficult? The banjo, because it's so fast, and you're really going fast. It wasn't my instrument. I'm more of the electric violin. But it was interesting to learn.
Have you ever had one of those?
Not yet. That's on the list. And okay, so let's go into the blues. The blues started, did you know this, during the Civil War in the 1860s?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they started.
I had an idea, but I didn't know it.
Well, because there was a lot of slaves that went into the war. They were fighting the war, and then they heard the white guys with this European music that came through, and so they blended their African music with the European music and came up with the blues. And that's how the blues started getting really popular. And then after the Civil War, I just read this amazing thing that the slaves and the blacks, of course, they were all slaves until after the Civil War. After that happened, 40% of them left the South and they started migrating to different areas. And so that's how the blues really came about to spread across America, is because of you guys, the African Americans. So our hats are off to you. It's because of you that the blues came about. And then right after that was jazz.
It wasn't Stevie Ray Vaughan
no.
that invented the blues.
No. Although she did make it popular again, too.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was thinking of Fleetwood Mac. They have a kind of a blues.
Like I said, we quest for the truth here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, everything is dead accurate here and politically correct.
Our goal here, or my goal, I should say, is just to have fun. Just to give you some cool information to encourage you to get out there, listen to the blues while you're driving, and go camping and get out on the road. That's my whole thing of it. And make sure you bring an American soft drink with you. You think it'd be Coke? No, it's Dr. Pepper.
An American soft drink?
Yep. That was invented.
That's one of your favorites. You like that, don't you?
I like the Diet Dr. Pepper because it doesn't have all the sugar in it. And I like that the story behind it was from a pharmacist. He, in 1885, in Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas.
Waco. Yep. He invented the drink because what he would do is he would take these syrups, and throughout the day, he would take the tinctures to help people get well. Well, he loved the smells, and he loved to also, during his time off or when people came in, is to give soda drinks away to people at his soda fountain that have the bubbles in them. And so he loved the smell so much, he concocted in on his free time.
He liked the smell of a pharmacy?
He did, because the pharmacies back then, remember, they were all little concoctions of syrups.
They did have kind of a smell to them that was cool.
Yeah.
It is hard to explain, but that's what he was going after.
Yeah, so he went after that smell, and he
the old Rexall drug smell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to put it in a drink, and he was very successful at it because people would come into his pharmacy to get that drink. Because remember, the pharmacies had the old soda fountains. I mean, that was very American. And they used all the fruit syrups, and there's actually a museum there now, the Dr. Pepper Museum, and you can go and, you can actually crown a soft drink. You can drink their soft drinks. You can.
What does crowning a soft drink mean?
It's putting the top on the soft drink. Remember, there's a lot of times you get the flip tops now, but in the old ones, it was just a piece of metal that they put on the top of the bottle.
Kind of like those mason jar things?
No, not the screw-ons. Remember the soft drinks? You had to have like a beer thing to take it off,
like a metal cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can actually see how a lot of the kids.
That's what they call crowning, huh?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. You can the soft drink bottles. You can take a tour through the bottling company.
I actually learned something today, off the Frisky Biscuit podcast.
That's our goal.
Highly educating.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So if you haven't had a Dr. Pepper lately, it's an American drink just for you.
American.
American.
It's American.
What else are you guys doing out there? What's your American tradition on the 4th of July? Ours is to see fireworks. That's the big one. And we use our Soda Stream now.
You're going to endorse another product. Here you go.
That's a good one to maybe put on our website. I'll see what I can do.
You didn't even
I'm
think
a
of
Soda
that.
Stream girl. I mean, I love the Soda Stream.
I used to have a Soda Stream, and now I showed it to Lisa, and I don't have one anymore.
Yeah, because he doesn't do it very well. You don't get bubbles in it. It becomes flat.
Well, something happens with age.
Your bubbles go away.
Yeah.
So I can make a mean fountain drink and if you haven't tried SodaStream, I would suggest going and get one. They're not very expensive.
Especially if you got kids.
Yeah, and you can put all kinds of...
They're pretty cool.
The one that tastes like Mountain Dew is amazing.
Fountain Mist.
Oh, it tastes just like it.
Those guys nailed it. That had to just really irritate Pepsi. Because it has no caffeine in it or sugar, and it tastes actually better than real Mountain Dew.
It does. And the root beer. We made root beer floats the other day that were just amazing.
Their root beer is over the top. You think A&W, you love that?
Maybe that ought to be the tradition, is root beer floats for 4th of July.
There's nothing on SodaStream root beer, I'll tell you.
I wanted to pull out our talking Santa and put him out on the front porch for 4th of July, just for something different and fun.
You're actually telling people in public that you want to do that?
Yeah, we have a 6-foot Santa that talks to you. He sings to you. Christmas songs, and he's a big hit at Christmas, and I thought maybe 4th of July would be the right time.
And it is very entertaining to watch her sing and harmonize with this Santa. Lisa loves to sing, so text her and have her call you on the phone. She'll sing to you.
I don't know about that.
What are you pointing at?
I don't know about that. Well, that's our information for today. Let's go.
You're out of stuff?
Yes.
You're out of stuff. Well, we're also out of time almost.
Oh, that's good.
I think what we ought to do, though, since we've been just screwing around on this little 4th of July episode here, is to give you an opportunity. One of the things that helps us along is Lisa is an amazing grant writer, and she owns a company called Mooseye Grantology. And Mooseye Grantology is something that is more than just writing grants. She actually helps the grant owner, the nonprofit person, find funding for their company by searching out the right funding for the right nonprofit. So I think a couple of moments here just to tell people, because I think a lot of people that might watch this are of the genre of owning a nonprofit, and right now funding for everyone is a little weird. With the banks and stuff going on, we just don't know what's happening. So
yeah, and I hear the nonprofits saying that it is getting a little bit more difficult. However, what really counts is your nonprofit set up correctly for these funders to say, hey, I trust that the money that we've raised, we're going to gift it to this particular organization. They're going to do exactly what they say they're going to do. So to make sure your nonprofit is set up correctly, your organization is set up, your board is set up, that's the first step. The second step is to make sure your organization, the plan that you want to put together, say you want to start a children's museum, is exactly the same as what the funder is giving funds for. If the funder's giving funds for, for some software, and you have a children's museum and it doesn't coincide, it's not going to get funded. So the more that your mission and your particular project that you're putting together for your mission is aligned with the funder and the funds that he's giving away or they're giving away, lines up, you have a great chance of making it happen. There is a lot of money out there. There's billions of dollars. The federal government is still doling out millions and millions of dollars to these nonprofits, especially if you're into solar, if you're children. There's a lot of projects out there that the federal government is funding as well. So do not give up. Give us a call at mooseyegrantology.com and we'll help you.
You do a great job. I got to give it
Thank
to
you.
you. You do a great job. The last company that you helped, which was a huge nonprofit, man, she just knocked it out of the park with those guys, and they're very appreciative.
And it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to stay in touch with them too. Become friends.
Well, guess what? We want to wish all of you a little belated happy 4th of July, or I guess 4th of July is tomorrow. So, but this is the weekend. Everybody's celebrating. Hot dogs, hamburgers, potato salad,
And Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, and Fountain Mist.
Yes.
Counterfeit Mountain Dew.
Yes. I'll go look for that site, see if I can find it for you guys.
We got to check that out. They might be one of our affiliates pretty soon.
Maybe. We'll see what we can do.
On our brand new affiliate site that we're developing, thanks to Amazon.
Yeah. Funds this podcast and it helps you with the discount.
So remember, if you're a truck driver out there, a food truck operator, we say food trucks because you're truckers too, UPS, FedEx, delivery truck drivers, semi-truck drivers, over long-distance truck drivers, you're a commuter out there driving to work, listening to the radio, listening to podcasts, we want to entice you to listen to our podcast by clicking that link on the bottom of our website or on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. We have a video version of this, which is not our primary version, but you can see us making complete asses out of ourselves here. And we have a lot of fun doing it. So if you have ideas for us and you want us to even skew this a little ways, let us know, comment,
Frisky-biscuit.com.
thumbs up us, whatever you got to do.
Email us.
So until next time, this is Dr. G and
Lisa.
saying bye-bye. We love all of you and we really appreciate you. And until next time, bye-bye.